What up, everybody? We are now starting with a different voice on a more regular cadence because Russo decided he is too good for politics. I
Yeah,
think
it's all good.
I'm going to give him shit because he's not here. I think that he just wanted to take a holiday break and he's blaming politics. I'll look forward to
Uh,
the text messages tomorrow.
he'll be back. He'll be back. It ain't gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be quick. But like you said, I think after the new year, we're gonna see Russo back on here. It's too hard to stay away from, and it's ingrained in us, bro. This is what we do, you know. So he'll be back.
Ash,
He'll be back.
it seems like you're coming through a different mic than that one. You might want to double check your settings. It's a little echoey. But Emily, how are you doing?
I mean, I can't complain. There's just new chaos every day.
How's this?
But other than that, pretty good.
Good. We have a special guest with us tonight, KG from SmokePole TV. Cash has came across him and wanted to bring him on our show tonight.
Hey, I'm looking to make him a full-fledged
What are you
member.
up to, man?
Doing excellent, man. I appreciate the company. Good to be with some good people, with some good opinionated people. I'm a gun enthusiast. I'm a Trump supporter, but I don't walk line step with anybody. I pride myself on having an individual perspective and an individual view that a lot of times I make enemies quicker than I make friends. But I'm a good guy.
Big facts. Big facts. You're in normal company, I would say.
Yeah, that's good.
That's awesome, man. One of my big things is, this is the first time I've ever voted for Trump. I've generally voted third party or libertarian. But yeah, this is the time that I see a lot of people evolving and kind of coming together. And so it's good to have you on here, man.
I appreciate the invite.
Cash, what have you been up to?
Well, before I get into what I've been up to, everybody that's in here right now with us, do us a favor and please like this video and share this video out with a couple people. It'll help us with the algorithm. You know, we greatly appreciate it. And we need all the help we could get since Russo's not here anymore. You know what I'm saying? So do us that favor, please. And thank you. But as for me, nothing. I've been chilling, been back hitting the gym. I had court today. That was awesome. Just amazing. And then, you know, lost a friend over the day before yesterday. But other than all of that, you know, kids is healthy. I'm still here, you know, I'm doing my thing, editing videos, which shout out to all of you all for helping to make this content great. I appreciate you. It's been working. So yeah, everything's good though. Everything's good in my world. I woke up. God is good.
Big facts. When you say everything's working, how is it going on your YouTube, Cash? How is it going?
Fantastic. It's going really good. I'm working on a long form video to put out for tomorrow. So y'all be on the lookout for that. And yeah, I mean, I got a new show idea that's actually got KG. KG's going to be on it. It's going to be Millie. Millie is the white Emily. They're both equally intelligent. It's just great. Right? Yeah, no, she's great. She's phenomenal. And then SK, who is also intelligent and phenomenal. So we got our own little thing that we're working on. I hope you guys enjoy that. I'm not sure if we're going to do it live again next time or if we're going to make it more podcast style where I pre-record it and then put everything together when people were talking and just blend everything into like a full-fledged show. So either way, y'all be on the lookout for that. KG's a part of the squad now, big time street light. And his street light doesn't come from a street light, though. It comes from the barrel of a pistol. So shout out to KG.
SmokePole TV. Hey, man, tell you the truth, man. Speaking of cabinets, when you did your press secretary thing, I think I died, bro. I died. When I seen that, I was done, man. That was hilarious, bro. Your YouTube is phenomenal. I wasn't as familiar of it what it was, but what you're doing now, you're going in an incredible direction, dude. Funny and informative.
I appreciate you, my brother. And shout out to my bro in the chat right here, the one and only Timothy Hale. That's my bro. He's a fellow J6er, man. We was in DC, DOC, the Gulag together, and they did my man's wrong on the news and everything. It's just, I want to say it again. I've been saying it since I got home, but I got to say it. Not a racist. Not a racist. One of my closest bros, and puts out fantastic content. You guys go over to X and follow him. Tim Hale, criminally funny J6er. That's what his name is, even on X. Y'all give him a follow, give him some love, show him some support because his brother's still out here working, man. doing his thing. So shout out to you, Tim.
Yeah.
And shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now. I love all of y'all. But it's just nice to see my bro on. He's on my face. He's on my YouTube channel now. That's dope, Tim. I appreciate that, my bro.
Well, we got a good show for tonight. Of course, no one ever starts a show by saying we have a horrible show lined up for you. So we're just going to be going with the traditional words. But we have the neo-Nazis in Ohio that we're going to be talking about in that video. Actually, Cash, can you load that up since you have a TikTok? I can't. Or do you want me just to pull up a random one? I can pull up another one.
Yeah, as long as it's bleeped out with them calling somebody the hard R. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. See if you have one. If we have one, we'll pull it up while we're talking about it. We have Nancy Mace bringing up a bathroom bill at the Capitol. This is going to be interesting. That is not on my bingo card for 2024. Biden's latest that he's going to be giving long-range missiles that have already been fired into Russia. And then a couple takes on Trump's cabinet, like what was just recently announced about Dr. Oz. Those are our main topics. We'll see what else comes up with us with all of this today, and we'll kind of go from there. Where shall we start, guys? Where shall we start?
I mean, it's always fun to start with, anything going on in Congress. So that's great. Let's go ahead and pull that one up while I find this other video.
You want to talk about bathroom bill? That's what you're referring
to? Let's talk about the bathroom bill.
So for everybody that doesn't know, the bathroom bill is what Nancy Mace, this woman right here on the screen, has put up that with Sarah McBride being elected, and I apologize, I didn't take note of what state she was elected, but she was elected to be a Congress. What was the state?
A weird one.
A weird one. Okay. Yeah, a weird one. So she will be is going to represent that area and that district. And now Nancy Mace is putting together a bill and put it up forth that only women will use women's bathrooms and only men will use men's bathrooms. Let's go ahead and hear what Nancy Mace has to say.
Go ahead, roll the skit, roll it.
Not be in the locker room, should not be in changing rooms, should not be in our restrooms either. And I'm going to be standing in the brink, standing in his or her way, putting a stop to this insanity and this nonsense. She doesn't get a say. This is about real women and women's rights. And the far left, radical left, they want to erase women and women's rights, and I'm not going to let them.
Would you want Sarah McBride to use the men's restroom like that?
She's was born a biological male. She should use the men's restroom.
What's the mechanism for checking who's qualified to use the ladies' room then? Like just sort of generally. Obviously, Sarah McBride has identified herself as a trans person, but what would be the
Here's the deal. Biological men shouldn't be in women's private spaces, period. End of story.
So this is specifically because Sarah McBride is in Congress.
That and more. So, I mean, we can't do it here. We can't do it anywhere. I've been strong on women's rights for several years now, and it's time to make sure that we protect women and girls everywhere.
So,
stop here.
Here's the thing that's funny about it all, right? They talking about how you're going to check and find out if they're trans. Listen, they got a birth certificate, okay? And on your birth certificate, especially if you running for Congress or you going into the Capitol as one of the elected officials, they know what you are biologically. Just because you say, oh, I call myself this now, doesn't mean that they have to accept that. And that's why I feel like this bill is brilliant. Emily, I want to hear your take, though, because you are the woman on the panel. So how do you feel about that? Do you feel safer?
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason I have a license to carry and do not go anywhere without a gun. I'm not going into a bathroom. And honestly, it's not even just trans people sneaking in. If you're in a public restroom, a man could just straight up walk in there. I mean, that's the thing. It's like predators are going to put themselves in opportunities to attack women. So, I mean, to me, this whole bathroom thing's kind of like a little overplayed. But I absolutely do not want biological men in women's spaces, especially something private like a bathroom. I don't think we can play the video that the transgender or the cross-dressing man sent Nancy Mace saying that he's gonna like basically assault her in the bathroom. But that's a perfect example of, and I shared it to my story. I said, this is why I have a license to carry, because I'm not going to be in the bathroom with this mentally ill man.
It's crazy. See, these people, here's the thing. The left is deranged. Now, you already got him coming in now, and he's making those kind of threats, calling up Nancy for proposing this, right? And it's not a shock because when you see what actual leftist women, and he's playing the role. He's playing the role of a leftist woman because the leftist women are going crazy, shaving their heads and divorcing their husbands right now, all because of this election, the election results. So that's great. Smoke, what you think, man?
You know, I have a kind of a dual opinion on it. One is I believe 100% men go to men's bathrooms, women go to women's bathrooms, right? But I also think that there's a lot of unnecessary government spending even having this conversation. You know, when we start talking about, you know, you have to put a law on it and how are we going to check? I think we're going way too far in it. You know, if I see some, and this is crazy, this perspective, but if I see somebody that looks like a woman and I, you know, and I don't know, maybe they're not, you know, mentally, I don't even want to spend that much time thinking about it. I can understand why Emily and other women would be concerned. You know what I mean? Because when you start having dudes in the bathroom, following your kids and stuff, you know, and you're aware of you got a 6 foot hairy dude with a dress on walking behind your daughter into the bathroom, it's going to be an issue. You know what I mean? Yeah. No matter what he feels in his head, he looks like, and that's where the nuance comes. Maybe we do need these laws to let that dude in the dress that's 6'2", you know, let him know like, yo, it doesn't matter what you feel like, you need to be in the men's bathroom, you know. But I also think to myself, like, yo, if I don't know and if it's a non-issue, like if I don't know, I'd rather not spend millions of dollars or billions of dollars, whatever the number is, on trying to decide. So that's where I'm kind of.
But here's the sad part about it. The sad part about it, though, my bro, is that the money's got to be spent on this because it doesn't just affect women. It affects men that have daughters or that have sisters or that have wives. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy that we have to get to the point of them sending a bill or a resolution to be able to make this thing legit. But this is where we're at because of the lunacy of the left. Casey, what you think, bro?
I think it's absolutely absurd. And I just pulled up the FEC document for being able to apply for a House or a Senate. It doesn't ask for your gender. So I'm thinking we probably should, so we can remove this questioning, but this is a opportunity that the system is going to use to exploit because there's no other checkbox in this form to really say where you should be going. So I do see there's going to be a problem with Nancy Mace's bill. If there is no distinguishing checkbox on that form, how are you going to do that legally?
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is why we need to come up with a resolution. I think that honestly, when it comes to using the bathroom, bro, it shouldn't be a big deal. If you want this is the way I look at it. If trans women want biological females to be okay with them going in to the bathroom, well, maybe we should reverse psychology that and say, well, maybe you should be okay with still going into the man's bathroom. Why are you forcing this on women? Just because you want to identify that. Look, men, are you okay with transgender women coming and using the bathroom? We're going to say, yeah, because everybody knows that's a guy. Shit, we skip stalls. Like, I won't even go. If there's like a whole row of stalls, I'm not going up next to the brother. If we in there alone, I'm not going to walk up next to the brother and say, oh, let me pee right next to him. No, I'm going to go.
Interestingly enough, I've heard their argument on that side of it, right? And this is where I'm disgusted when we start, you know, comforting the feelings of men. But because it just goes against all of society and what society is built on. But what their argument is when that 6 foot dude in a dress, and I don't like calling them trans women. I don't like saying women associated with anything associated with, like, just the terminology is even disturbing to me. But, you know, when that 6 foot dude in a dress goes into the bathroom, you know, I think that it's like, you know, we should, like, just like you said, I believe they should go to the men's bathroom 100%. And, you know, but their argument is that when they do, they put themselves at risk of being beat up.
Okay, so this is my point. Why are we putting what you feel about yourself? Women have these same concerns with you saying that you are going into their bathroom. So you're not special. 100%. You account for less than 1% of the population of America. Why are we accommodating these people? We shouldn't be accommodating them. We should be looking out.
Why are we accommodating them in front of women and children?
Regular life.
And why are we accommodating them in front of women and children is the real disgusting part when you think about it mentally, because men's feelings should not be prioritized above the women and kids.
Exactly.
This might be surprising, but so I was in Austin a couple months ago. I went to an event hosted by a transgender Miss Blair White, I love Blair White. If you saw Blair White on the street, she passes. I call her she. She's one of the best conservative voices in my opinion. I love all of her content. So I went to a show to see her, and there were a lot of other conservative transgender individuals there. And I got to talking to this wonderful, she passes. So this wonderful transgender woman immigrated from Poland. So she's seen the dangers of communism. She's from, I think she's actually in Chicago, and she works for like the Republican committee in there. So anyway, we go out to the bars after in Austin, and I would not have wanted her to go in the men's bathroom. So her and I went to the women's bathroom. She's tall. She's like 6'2". She's towering over me, but I would rather have my friend that passes as a woman and she's truly transgender. That's the thing. To me, I can very clearly see is someone actually transgender, or are they just the huge, people that are just
part is what's
here's my issue with that though, Emily. Here's my issue. Once we start making exceptions, right now, this is the exception that I would make. If you had the surgery done on you where you can't assault somebody in that way, well then, hey, you know what I'm saying? But if you are literally, you got a beard as thick as mine, you got muscles like me or like Smoke, and you walk into the bathroom and you still got all your junk in place, man, no. And even then, I hate even saying that, because it's still, you're biologically a dude, bro. Just go to the bathroom and just be done with it. Why is it you want to go and be around just because you feel like that doesn't make sense? If I want to,
you brought up, that's a good one though, Cash. Because real talk, like if they want to have these exceptions and they want to have these different things, hey, carry around a card or something. Carry around that you've been, what do they call it, neutered or whatever. You know what I mean? Call it whatever you want. But because in that case, even though that still does not make the women and kids safe completely, it makes them safer.
Right.
I don't know. I just don't know.
This is where it gets hard, and actually it may be surprising that I'm kind of on this where I'm just like, I don't actually know how to handle this, because then you have the issue where a manly looking biological woman's being accosted and saying, you're a man, you can't go in there. The poor woman's just an ugly woman, and that is happening. And to me, it's like, this is just a debate that's so blown out of proportion. It's like, let's focus on not mutilating children.
Waste of money.
Right. I agree.
The issue of like, can the trans, whatever, because to me, it's like, whether or not they're allowed in the bathroom, that doesn't stop just a rapist who's not even trying to be transgender from sneaking in the bathroom anyway and waiting to attack women. So it's like, to me, it's always, when I walk in at a truck stop, I travel a lot. Is it
right,
trans?
but it's noticeable though.
Sneak in. It's not that hard to just walk in.
But if a man walks in, like, a person's gonna notice that. That's the thing. If you going in incognito because you dressed up like a pretty lady, you know what I'm saying, and you still got your junk in place, but you really got ulterior motives. You don't got to use the bathroom. You want to use somebody in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. I feel like if it's this big of an issue, why not create separate bathrooms for the trans community?
Correct.
Simple.
That's what we should be doing, in my opinion.
Different bathroom, all of that.
Yeah, completely separate, or just create a bathroom like a family bathroom, like they have in some places. Just give them that.
Airports.
Correct. They can go to those things, use that. They don't need to be going into gender-specific bathrooms. There are solutions to this to where we don't have to offend anybody of any specific type. We can handle this accordingly. Now, one of the things that I do want to pull up is, what does our speaker, Mike Johnson, think about this? Let's go ahead and hear what he has to say.
Hello, everybody. I just want to make a statement for all of you here and be very clear. I was asked a question this morning at the leadership gaggle, and I rejected the premise because the answer is so obvious. For anybody who doesn't know my well-established record on this issue, let me be unequivocally clear. A man is a man, and a woman is a woman, and a man cannot become a woman. That said, I also believe, that's what Scripture teaches, what I just said, but I also believe that we treat everybody with dignity. And so we can do and believe all those things at the same time. And I wanted to make that clear for everybody because there's lots of questions. But that's where I stand. I've stood there my whole life, and those are facts.
The answer. That was a good answer. I applaud him for that one. That was good.
I thought it was fantastic. He's like, I'm just going to come out. We're going to lay it all straight. And honestly, this is a huge growth moment for Mike Johnson, in my opinion, because honestly, I think he needs to go. but this is showing that he is trying to move with what is currently going on. Now, I don't like wishy-washy in politics. I don't like people that keep doing that, but maybe he's going to align with the party that he should be representing that wants to make some progress in this area, and he might be helping with it.
People change.
I like it.
People
What do you guys
change.
believe?
and
What do you guys think about the tampons and men's
Hold on, real
bathrooms?
quick, Smoke. Hold on, Smoke.
Yeah.
We got proof that people can change. We got a whole community.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree with you.
What do you guys think in California? My buddy, right? And I thought that this was just like, I thought it was just nonsense and just kind of like Instagram media. But my buddy sent me a picture of like a tampon machine in California in a men's bathroom. You know, that's a real thing, man. Like I thought it was jokes, but that's a real thing.
Yeah, it is real.
Crazy.
You're almost vice president as of a couple weeks ago. Put them in all Minnesota government bathrooms.
Unbelievable, man.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
It's trans men, bro. Trans men go, or no, is that right? Yeah, trans men that still use the men's bathroom, I guess. That's how that would work. A trans man, which is biologically a woman, goes into the bathroom with men to change their tampon.
Wow.
You see, do you hear yourself on how ridiculous it is to try to justify all this? It's here's your bathroom. It doesn't have a gender specific label on it. Voila, done.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then the sick part, the sick level of it is when they start asking to put those same weird bathrooms in high schools and middle schools. Because then now, because you see what I'm saying? Because now we're introducing that whole conversation that shouldn't even be a conversation to the children. And then now we have hitting a level of disgusting and sickness and perversion, in my opinion, that I don't feel like you should have to hold back on. See, we're delicate with it now because we're talking about adult things. But see, these people typically just escalate to where, man, the next conversation we're going to have is, well, why don't you have these gender neutral bathrooms in the middle school or in the high school?
You hit it on the head, bro. You hit it on the head. I agree.
You know?
I agree.
Here's the thing. I used to listen to a lot of true crime podcasts when I would I've listened to hundreds, maybe thousands of true crime podcasts. And it is not a new thing for men to attack women in public restrooms. I mean, even before this transgender thing was an issue. So to me, as a woman, when I'm traveling, I'm looking out for predators that are going to attack me, whether or not, it's transgender. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want these fake transgender people going into the women's bathroom. But my point is, public bathrooms generally are not a super safe place for women as it is. If you're in a gas station, if you're in they're usually set in the back corner of a store. It's the perfect place for, a predator to wait, whether or not they have a dress on, or it is, in my opinion, it's very easy to sneak in to a bathroom. I mean, no one's really staring at the bathroom door to see an illegal immigrant walk in, so I don't think they're very safe places as it is. So whether or not they're transgender or just a random dude walking in there, I would just warn every woman, be careful, carry pepper spray if you don't want to carry a gun. And when you're going in a space like that, be aware. I wish it wasn't like that, but.
Agreed. Emily, I have to ask you, I'd ask Cash, but he spent a few years in prison. He wouldn't know. Have you had
a joke building right here?
Have you ever asked your boyfriend to go into the bathroom, or someone you're going on a date with to go in and get any type of menstrual items for them? That's the argument from the Tim Walz fans is, the guy can go and get it for his significant other that he's out on a date with.
No, and I've never actually used anything in the women's room because they're usually, it's like the worst products possible. So it's like, I personally don't know anybody who uses it. If you have an emergency, you go to the store and get it for yourself if you don't carry it in your purse already.
Right.
So their argument is what? That if you're on a date with a chick and she's bleeding, that you need to go and get the tampon out the women's bathroom or the men's bathroom?
Correct. Wow. No, out of the men's bathroom. You go get that for them.
Why can't she just go get it if we don't care about gender?
Dude. I had to bring this up because I'm like, this is one topic we're never in a place where we have a woman's insight on this, and I'm like, I have to ask. And
that's crazy.
Emily, thank you.
I didn't want to try and sound elitist but I'm like, who is using the stuff that's in those? Because I not to be gross, but usually there's like an applicator. Some of those in there, it's not an app. You're just supposed to shove it up with your finger. I'm like, who is using these products in these public restrooms?
God,
I don't know anybody who uses them. So I'm like, why do we need them in not one bathroom, but all the bathrooms? Because I don't know anybody that uses them.
That's crazy.
You know what this really also brings to mind as far as like just an overall general thing I wanted to add in there is that it feels like this generation has morally decayed, but gotten extremely more judgmental and sensitive. Like we've gotten into this cancel culture, but like the moral fabric is just decaying. It's just like the fact we're talking about this is just like, it just shows how like
degeneracy.
We've degenerated to a weird place, but us saying this makes us, homophobes
or the bad guys.
It makes us all kind of cancel them. They're homophobic. They're this. They don't like these people. It's like, no, it's just that we shouldn't even be prioritizing men's feelings over it. Like, it's just mind blowing, dude, that we're talking about it. But yeah, it's a major issue though. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane that we have to have this conversation. And this goes a little bit of what you were talking about, KG, is when we're talking about this situation and where our government should be spending its time, it's definitely not on this topic. Like, why are we worried about this topic? We have solutions. Just go to the bathroom you were taught when you were 5 years old. Go to that bathroom and then just call it good for the rest of your life and you'll be good. I don't know why we have to be so sensitive about this, but if we want to go the route of giving everybody their own bathroom and genders and those that are confused, I'm good with that. That's a compromise. Same with sports. Like, I mean, I feel that same way.
I can't identify as a dog and just walk outside and whip out the monster and pee on a tree.
Well, if you ask some people, we have some kids here in Utah that went to school last year claiming they were cats and they wanted litter boxes in the bathrooms.
That's insane. I'm done with this.
I like Nancy Mace a lot. I think she kind of got her claim to fame when she was very impressive during the hearing for the assassination attempt on Trump. And she's also was a Waffle House waitress at Waffle House. And now she's got an impressive story. To me, this is just her attempt of getting in the media to do something that impressive so everyone can do a round of applause for her. If you go to her X feed, it's all she's posting about. And it's like, okay, that's cool. But to me, it's just like, let's stop focusing on the bathrooms. It's been such it's just played out. And
right.
if both sides stop talking about it, then it would just be, if you're transgender and you pass, go in. I can always spot someone that's not truly transgender, that isn't making any attempt and they're just using it for whatever social virtue signaling, whatever, to be a predator.
Isn't she the one though that had one of her constituents had the daughter that was in the in the school bathroom, and the kid came in there and raped her?
Was that in South Carolina?
I believe so. I believe that's why she's so hard on her. I don't think it's just no ploy. I think that she gives a damn because this is an issue. And I know what people don't like to accept that, but it is an issue. You have, okay, right now, we'll not use adults. We'll use kids. Let's say we got a sick, demented, little fucked up kid that is being raised wrong, and he's got these devious thoughts already. That's like, you know what? I'm going to go and harm women. And his ploy is, I'm going to dress up and become a woman so I could go in there and commit this act. And he's got a messed up mind already because he's being raised fucked up, which is the case with the kid that did what he did.
That was in school, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, see, I do not believe that what happens in, to me, it's like when I say public, I mean like a grocery store, a gas station. The schools, absolutely not. Children need to be protected at schools because you can't expect a high schooler to go in carrying a gun. They can't carry a gun and conceal carry. But I'm talking about when we're public at a grocery store in that schools.
See, but all of it, that's all hand in hand though, man. Like when you start, because man, when you have laws in California where they can dress your kid up, dress little Johnny up like a princess, call him Sarah and send him home and not tell you. I mean, they're ahead of the game on this. Like, we can't ignore that this is happening already. It's not like, well, what if it happens in schools? It's happening in California right now. You know what I mean? And maybe not to the bathroom extent, but they're making all kind of things acceptable that to me are just mind blowing.
One last thing.
California, it is quite
Cali's a whole world. I got one last thing on this and we can move forward. I just want to say, for me, this is how I feel. I hope that they get tough on that issue. I hope they get tough on the crime issue. I hope they get tough on the immigration issue. I hope they get tough on sending all this money to all these different countries for wars that we shouldn't have nothing to do with. I hope they get tough on every single thing and get America back to some place of normalcy. That's what I want.
You left one thing that's crucially important out. One thing, and I'll make it real short and sweet. Man, the JFK shit that he's been talking about, as far as like all of these poisons in the food here, man, there's food that they don't even sell in Europe. There's food that they don't even sell in other countries that they're literally trying to kill us here in America. These major corporations and the stuff
for entertainment purposes only.
So I'm just glad that they're addressing that, because that's something that these politicians have completely ignored for decades. And the stuff that's in our food and our water is ridiculous. So I'm just really glad Trump brought that to the forefront,
100%.
JFK and so forth.
Yeah, I see this as a little bit of evolving as a society, with bills like this coming out of Congress so early. We have a change going to happen in Congress and president in the coming next, what are we talking? Yeah, just over 60 days. And I think we're going to start seeing some evolution here. Now, if you're living in the wrong state that doesn't represent you, then you might need to think that through and go somewhere to the state that has your values. But literally, I think that's the path we are on as a country, is some people are just going to start moving to the states that give boys their things in the bathroom that they don't have any use for. But we'll see where it goes. As for the next thing, just to transition to it, Cash, this is one of the items that you wanted to bring up, the marching in Ohio with the Neo-Nazis.
Yeah.
That video? Do you have that video?
I ain't got it. I can't find it. It's on TikTok, and it's hard to find stuff back when it's on TikTok.
Okay.
But even without the video, so this is what happened. You had, and that's just one video. There was a couple other ones as well where they got into a fight and everything. So you got these lighter skinned, I don't even like to call them Americans because it's un-American what they're doing, marching around with the Hitler flag and going through the streets saying racial slurs about blacks, Mexicans, anybody that's not white American, and causing issues. And they don't like Trump. They're not even Trump supporters. That's the thing. They're just racist. These are just racist, right? And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because they're trying to pin this on MAGA. They're trying to pin this on Trump supporters. They're trying to pin this on patriots, people that love this country, because they're marching underneath the guise that they love this country and want to make America white again. But I just got a news flash for these brothers. America has never only been white. You go back all the way to when the founding fathers created this country to before that, when the first settlers came here. This country has never been all white. All right. And the people that you talking about, a part of this country, help build this country. However you want to look at it, whether they be Jewish, whether they be black, whether they be Hispanic, whether they be Italian, whatever they are, they help build this country. New York City was considered.
I wish you had the video. Sorry. I wish you had the video, because this is a good one.
New York City was the capital of the world when New York City had its rise. It was the capital of the world, and it was full of all different types of people from all over the world that came to take part in the American experience and became Americans, forsaking their other nation that they came from, and was proud to call themselves Americans. So for you deluded, mentally ill, racists in the country, whatever color you are, but specifically I'm talking to you neo-schmatzis, to you motherfuckers, I just want you to know, you have no place here. And the rest of the country, because you're a very small minority, the rest of the country doesn't like you. Okay? No one likes you. And the shit that you spewing, I'm telling you right now, is going to end up getting you hurt, because you do got people that are rising up that are a part of the groups that you're talking about, that don't play those kind of games, that really, they don't got a lot to look forward to except busting your ass. So just be careful with what you're doing out there. I pray that your brain becomes uncorrupted.
I don't think the timing was coincidental, brother. I don't think, and if you watch the video, I wish you guys had the video of this, because if you watch the video, a lot of those guys are sitting there with their camera phones. They were filming themselves. See, this was something where they were trying to put it out there, as it wasn't just like, let me go run around the city. Real neo-Nazis run around the city looking for people to beat up and stuff to stir up. But these guys were wearing, black and red, and it looked very staged and very very kind of inflammatory for the time, because see, there's a lot of people on the left that were expecting. They were waiting for, okay, these guys are gonna there they go. These guys are gonna be emboldened and stuff. Now watch, I guarantee even in this video, you'll see a lot of these guys with their camera phone. They wanted this to be some sort of like display, and I don't think the timing of it is just coincidental. Trump wins, and then they wanted to tie it into the emboldening the white nationalists and these racist groups. This might be bullshit, just like some of that Antifa stuff was, man.
Yeah.
They give off that energy to me.
Me too.
Big time. It's a honeypot to get the people in this country that do share their beliefs, because you do have some small gangs throughout the country that still identify with that. You know, they got the little Nazi stuff all over them, and they play dress up and they do all of that. But no real patriot, okay? If you really stood on business and what you believe, you wouldn't be wearing no mask. You would be okay with your face being shown. That's how you separate these dudes. A real racist is gonna stand on his shit. There's this one dude that's on X with Goyim TV. This motherfucker stands on his stuff, bro. Stands on it. He's a straight well, I don't know. Well, yeah, he's a racist. I would consider him racist because he talks shit about Jews, and you know, he puts out a lot of truthful shit.
The GNN, the Gentile News Network guy, and
the Goyim TV to do he gets people to come on his live, and then he baits them, acts like a gay guy, and he acts, you know, like a Mexican, and then he gets on them. But at least he stands on his shit though, and he tells you why he believes it.
Yeah, I agree. Real racists aren't going to hide that they're racist. They're just like, yeah, I am.
And these guys are like 98-pound dudes, man. Like these guys would look like a bunch of little. They look like some liberals, just to be honest with you, dressed up.
They're feds. They're nothing different than feds, guys. Like the neo-Nazis. These guys were actually around last year, especially in Ohio. They were running around, starting some stuff, causing some issues. I'm not playing the audio because there's some words that are not bleeped in here, and we will get in trouble for these words that will be said. Only Cash and KG can say these words, but. And so you guys can connect the dots, but when it comes to this scenario, these people are feds. They are not real people that are trying to do anything logical that we should be following or endorsing or supporting. These are people trying to create problems within our community and should be just disowned and not even given them any attention at all, because as you can see from the videos they're recording, they love the attention. You start yelling at them, you start screaming at them, they all turn their phones at you, start recording so they can post it all over social media.
It's Antifa with a wardrobe change, y'all. That's all it is. It's Antifa now switching it up, because this is what they do. These groups, I guarantee you some of these dudes was a part of Antifa, and they love to cause chaos so they could create a situation. And when they create the situation, guess what happens? It disrupts society. That's all they're trying to do, is disrupt society, and we ain't falling for the trap, man.
Well, one thing I do want to say is this. One, because I agree with everything all of us have we're all on a similar page with this. But one thing I don't want to do is discredit the existence of this element, the authentic element that exists of these people. There are people that are dangerous people that really have these and hold these sentiments. Now, I say that to say this. The confusion of a lot of especially black liberals is like, why would you ever vote your gun rights away or vote for people that want to take your gun rights or your Second Amendment rights? And then you don't trust the police, you don't trust the federal government, and who's going to protect your family from the authentic ones like this? You see what I'm saying? It's a backwards logic of thinking. Like voting for Trump would have been the best thing you can do to defend yourself against the authentic element of these people. If you don't trust the cops, and you're not going to trust the cops to call them, you don't trust the government to prosecute the people when they do it, but you're going to vote for people, and then you're going to say, hey, hands up, don't shoot. Like that to me is just very vaginal. It's very feminine, and it just doesn't make sense at all. So I just want to acknowledge that the real authentic ones do exist, but you do need to protect yourself, arm yourself, train. And, and then those people are clowns, man. Those these are when it really boils down to it, these are the bottom of the bottom. They're not people that, have any political power, have any power in society, but you do want to protect yourself and get trained for those type of elements of people.
Hey, Virgil, the question that you wanted to ask, go ahead and ask it. Type it in the chat. I was paying attention. I was just waiting for a good time to ask you, but go ahead and type it in the chat. We'll answer it.
And it's no different. Like, let me pull this up real quick. I see the comment, and I'll touch on this. But It's no different than this group of people here, which is Proud Patriot Front. This type of group of people was a big group of them was
It
arrested.
ain't pulled up.
No, you don't see it on the screen.
Nah.
That not show up on.
I see it. I see the guy. I see what you're looking at.
Okay.
I wasn't familiar with these guys. Who are these guys?
This is Patriot Front. They do the same thing. They're out of Idaho and Utah and kind of the Rocky Mountain region. They do the same thing. You can't see that?
I could see it.
Oh, where did Cash go? He just left. Okay. Well, he'll come back and he'll see it. But this whole thing with Patriot Front, they're just as bad. They are doing the same thing. They are only trying to rile people up around them. A bunch of them were arrested last summer for doing some protests and not obeying the officers, trying to tell them to leave, because they were starting some stuff with other protests that were going on. These are the type of people, in my opinion, I call them feds because I don't think that they are doing anything of any community's good interests. They are doing something malicious and trying to create something negative that the media will run with. And
Can I say something that you guys probably can't say? I'm gonna tell you, and golly, this is that, man. I'm gonna be really. I'm gonna choose my words very, very. There's a part of the nationalism thing that I don't know if you guys ever seen the Fresh and Fit and Myron. He talked to some really serious white nationalists and so forth, right? But there's something that I believe strongly, and I agree with those white nationalists about. You know, I put America first in front of everything, even things we shouldn't discuss because it'll mess up everything. I put America first no matter what. You know what I mean? Now, their definition of America is different than mine, and it's not something that I debate with them, or, you know, I feel I don't validate my Americanism or my patriotism through guys like this. But one thing I do agree with them on is like, yo, the right to say whatever you want, because I believe they should be able to say all of this stuff. You know, as long whatever you're willing to fight for, say it. Go ahead. You know what I mean? On any platform in the media, like whether it's Facebook, whether it's any of these platforms, I believe the right to say what you want and bring bullying back. Bring bullying back and start raising these kids with some mental and spiritual fortitude to be able to, you know, control it. But we have sit here and we've championed the victim. We've championed being soft, you know what I mean? And I don't believe in that. You know, words don't kill people, man. You know, and I believe say what you want. And the minute we start saying, oh, you can't say this or saying this, that's when we get to un-American territory. So I hope I said that as politically correct as I possibly can.
Yeah, you did. You made yourself very clear. Cash, did you actually see the picture before I pulled it down?
I seen it. I don't know what the hell happened. It kicked me off, bro. I went out there and one of the kids unplugged the internet. I'm like, what the hell is going on? The internet's fine. It just kicked me off. I don't know.
That was hilarious because I was like, oh, Cash, so here it is. And then all of a sudden you disappeared.
Yeah, it's all good. Okay, bye. Yeah, no, bro, I agree. Bully. I personally, I feel, you know, again, people should be able to say whatever the hell they want to say. You want to march through the streets and you want to wave your flag. I don't give a damn about none of it. Don't take away my right to be able to talk shit about it on the internet like I'm doing right now. That's all. And keep the same energy when you got the other side of people doing the same thing in counter to that, right?
100%.
The only thing that I would say that I don't like is the divisiveness that they bring. They don't bring the spirit of America and togetherness. And I could understand them if they were, you know, inclusive and they like, yo, let's be proud Americans hitting the streets, you know, or something like that. But instead it's got to do with color. Now, everybody that knows me know I hate the fucking color game. I can't stand a racist. I don't care what type of racist they are. You know what I'm saying? And people gave me a little bit of flack because of my opinion about Israel's government, not distinguishing what I mean when I talk about Israel's government compared to the people that live there. I have no problem with anybody that is Jewish as a regular person. My issue is with the higher ups that control shit. You see what I'm saying? My issue, I don't got an issue with white people. I have an issue with a racist white person. I don't got a problem with somebody having, you know, saying white power, or if they feel that way. Go ahead. You can feel that way. Don't come for me. I don't have a problem with somebody having black power or feeling black power, black pride. Don't come for me. Once you start,
just don't piss on my lawn. That's the American principle. Just don't piss on my yard.
That's it.
You know what I mean? Say what you want, believe what you want, you know, but just don't piss on my yard. You know what I mean? And I don't care what religion it is. It's just sad that we've gotten to a point, and I don't believe that black, especially, that's why I say maybe y'all can't say it, but I can say it. I don't feel that I owe anyone racial sensitivity. As a black person in America, there's no group that I owe to be sensitive. Like my ancestors are really not too far under this ground, and there's houses built on them, a lot of them that died unhonorable deaths and unhonorable funerals and so forth. So I don't feel that I have to be sensitive. And then on top of that, like all of those folks that I know, I personally, and I mean this, and I don't know if y'all's experience is different, throughout my entire life, I've never seen one of those folks beat up, arrested, in poverty because of that. Do you see what I'm saying? I have never in my personal life, I'm not saying it globally, but in my personal American existence, I've never seen one of those folks persecuted, arrested, beat up. When those neo-Nazi guys see that, they say F those guys, but they come after me because you can't just walk by one of those guys and say, hey, they're one of those guys. But when they walk by me, it's a fight. And it was a fight every day of my life, all the way through middle school on up. And I never seen those guys. And I keep on saying those guys. I hope y'all get it. and I got love for them because some of them were my friends and like they were cool, but they walked right past those guys and they came to me. You see what I'm saying? My entire life. And then when I got older, those guys were always rich. They had money. They were doing good. Their family had money. I just have never seen this sensitive, like I don't have to be sensitive to that because I've never seen the pain in my person in America, in this great country of America. I've never seen the suffering that they attach to it that's so deep, which I understand. But look, slavery was this long, yo. That was this long. If you just go by the times, like, yo, it's just outrageous. So with that, I digress because we got to be careful even going too far on that.
Don't get me started.
I really don't care if someone's racist. I'm like a free speech absolutist. I laugh at racist jokes all the time. I don't feel like, okay, I'll preface this again. 100% Pakistani, first generation American here. I will make jokes at my own expense all the time because I think it's funny, especially after as much traveling as I've done. You're going to tell me I can't go to 35 countries, notice patterns, and then make conclusions based on the patterns that I've noticed. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm going to. So maybe that makes me a racist. I don't see anything wrong with being a nationalist either. Now, if you're calling to kill people, yeah, that's not okay. But if you want to have your own opinions and say them on X, I don't care. It never will hurt my feelings. And
I know that's right, girl. Go ahead.
I have a friend that I won't try and dox him, but his family they were Nazis. They fought for Hitler. And if you talk to him, he would still be like, oh yeah, I think Hitler was a great leader. Nothing wrong with him. He's kind of a Nazi. He's a great friend. We go and do stuff together. He's never been.
You don't want my opinion on that either. I tell you.
And it goes back to also our original topic as far as like, even though we're making these criticisms, does not mean I hate anybody. I don't hate that 6 foot tall guy in the dress. I don't hate him. Right. I do hate the sexual predator going after the kids. Yeah. I do hate that person. And I unapologetically hate that person. But you know, I don't have any distaste for those other guys or those people. So when they call me an anti-this or if they call me a homophobe, it doesn't hit me the same way. Because like, dude, I'm just saying America first. American people, American safety, the safety of women and kids, and then we'll worry about the men. Men are supposed to go through it the hard way. We blow down the path, and then we let the women and kids come in the easier way. But when we start changing that up and we start prioritizing how a man feels, man, I can't relate to that, man.
Big facts, dog. You hit it. You hit it. That's I can't even follow up because you're just right.
I just can't. I can't. I'm sorry, man. It just it boils in me. But I don't hate nobody. I don't want, I wish the best. I got some great friends I got great friends that are homosexuals. I got great friends that are, those guys. Like great friends. You know what I mean? That I feel like, man, I'd have their back, they'd have mine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. As Americans. See, that's the thing. Let's just unite under being Americans. Simple as that. And then you want to take it a step further.
Great conversation, man.
God. You know what I'm saying? But I cannot get with people. I can't unite with somebody who says, "Oh, I'm proud to be an American, but I'm a racist." You know, as far as like, I want to hurt you. Like, if you just feel like you're better than me, I could get with that. You cool. You can have that delusion the same way that people that, you know, dress up in different clothing that doesn't, you know, supposed to be for them. I'm cool with all of that. Have your thought. But the moment that it becomes a harm to me and it infringes on my rights and my freedoms, that's the only time I got a problem with it. You say whatever the hell you want to say. I champion free speech. I love it. Run that. You can believe whatever you want to believe. This is America. That's what we were made for. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can have their own beliefs. But the moment you infringe on somebody else's rights or their privacy, now it's a problem. And it's simple, cut and dry.
No, I 100% agree. And when it comes down to this whole thing, like I hate it when people say that's the American thing to do, because generally it's used out of the wrong context and used incorrectly. The most American thing you can do is respect your somebody else's opinion and where they stand. That is the most American you can do. Last show we talked about First Amendment and trying to restrict religion, saying that we need to have a nation that's only Christian. Like, that is anti-First Amendment and that is anti-American. We have to be supporting everybody. Doesn't mean you have to have the same views. You just let them do their own thing, let them go and do it and learn and find out. Because some people will try to go into the wrong bathroom, run into the wrong person. Darwin will handle it. Like,
hey, can I make this a little bit more complicated? Because I 100% agree with what you just said, right? But this is where it gets complicated, right? And it's interesting because I'm a firm believer that we need to start bringing the national anthem back in like schools and stuff to start harvesting the nationalism. I believe like the pride for this country is very important, and the interesting thing about that is the forefathers had a lot of that tied into God. You see what I'm saying? So that's the way that they try to get rid of that nationalism, by saying the separation of church and state. My mother and I were debating about this morning, because she's a stone cold liberal, but she's the church and the state should be separate, right? But the core foundation of this country is based on a God principle. You know what I mean? It's difficult. It makes it a very complicated, you know.
No, but it's not complicated, really. I'm a firm believer of separation between church and state, but you do not remove God. And that's where I disagree. They remove God. You know what I'm saying? Let's not remove God. If you're a Muslim, you want to practice the Muslim class in your school or whatever, that's cool. Have all of that. If you got a synagogue that you want to practice in your school, cool. Go ahead. You practice that. But stop discounting Christians that want to read the Bible or have a Bible class, because that's the only thing that comes under attack. They got all these different things, and everything else is okay except Christianity. That's where I have the problem. That's my issue. So
I like that.
I'm going to tack onto this a little bit. This was a little bit that we weren't planning to talk about, but one of the things that I felt this weekend, we have a huge fight night this weekend. We had Jake Paul versus Tyson, which was very underwhelming. Didn't turn out to be anything. And then UFC 309 was Saturday night. And did any of you watch it? Any of you on the panel, did you guys watch UFC 309?
Oh man, I wanted to and I missed it.
I watched clips. I didn't watch from start to finish.
I seen John Jones though.
Oh, Bones Jones did amazing. But the part that I want to touch on, during this UFC event, it is the most American event I have ever seen put on in a while. I shouldn't say ever put on, but in a long time. Because Donald Trump came out. Let me do this real quick. Donald Trump came walking out. The crowd goes insane. And the volume in Madison Square Garden was nuts. And this is just a guy that just went through the election a couple weeks ago, and people are celebrating this. Like, let's hear this out for a minute.
The sound in this room is so loud in here. It is so loud. It's always loud when he comes here, but now that he's won, now that he's the president again, oh my God.
So Donald Trump making his way to watch the UFC, which he absolutely loves, and doing so with some sort of victory lap after regaining.
I'm going to pause this real quick. Now, pay attention to his reaction to the guys that are doing all the commentary. Joe Rogan, Daniel Cormier, and the other guy. I can never remember his name. But watch him react to when he sees them just around this corner.
Presidency earlier this month in emphatic fashion with an election blowout of the Democratic candidate, Kamala Harris. Congratulations, sir.
Congratulations, Mr.
Anyway, so like this whole atmosphere of this entire night
lit
was everybody coming together. They only wanted one thing: amazing fights for the night. That is what everybody in the stadium wanted. No one cared about their neighbor being a liberal or a conservative, or Republican, libertarian, whatever. Everybody in this stadium wanted just good fights and enjoy some good company. This is where I say sports is huge in America, because it allows us to break down those barriers and those walls that the media and the government is trying to put between everybody. The sports is actually allowing all of us to come together. We poke fun. We give everybody crap. Like Cash's football team sucks, but it's all right.
I don't have.
We're
a
all going to be
team
saying
anymore.
that.
I've forsaken them. I have forsaken them. I'm not watching another game this year. I promise you.
This is why sporting events were so critical, and why I was saying this during COVID, is it brings people together. And watching this fight night and bring everybody, and that's all they wanted, and then end it with Bones Jones at the end giving his belt to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump having the biggest smile on his face that you probably have ever seen, because no athlete has ever done that. Shows you the realness about that man that got elected this month. It's amazing.
And then everyone doing the Trump dance. It was Christian Pulisic. That one surprised me. The football players, I'm kind of like, oh, that makes sense. But when Christian did it, I was like, oh, wow, everyone's doing it.
I'm going to do a TikTok skit of it. Just. That's it.
Oh, man. I love it.
It was fantastic. But like when you brought it up, I can't remember who brought it up, but I had to bring that up when we started talking about Americans and everything. This weekend, it was great. It was fantastic. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys. But let's jump into the next topic. We're running up on time. The next topic is Joe Biden addressing the nation from the Amazon. Did you guys see this?
And then wandering off into the forest. I'm like, where's he going?
Like, what in the world is going on here?
This is Benny Johnson, right?
I don't know where
Speaking of Bernie's, bro.
This is insane. Like, what the freak is going on from this video?
I love green screens, bro.
What? Well, let's watch this real quick. Let's go ahead and watch this and see
I
what
think
happens.
it's actually in the rainforest.
Oh, I heard it was fake.
Was it? Okay.
Well,
Well, what?
Wow.
like,
Yeah.
really? Really?
But it's so good.
Really?
So good.
He's like, let's go to Russia, and then wanders off into the rainforest. I'm like, what is going on?
with the Tarzan sounds.
I'm telling you, when them little frogs jump on his ass, it's over with.
Oh man.
How can you say this? You could take this current administration serious when they do stuff like that. It's like, what in the world is going on? And on top of that, Emily, you knocked it out. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to announce it from the rainforest. We gave long-range missiles to Ukraine to go and attack Russia. Like,
oh god,
that's crazy, bro. And hey, Putin is not.
About
Putin ain't playing right now, y'all. Did y'all hear his address that he said?
Who?
He said.
He's been saying it a couple times.
Putin said, "Listen, if anybody gives missiles to anybody to shoot over into our country, we are going to make sure you have nuclear war before Christmas."
Well, so here's what
And
he's
he said
already
it, I think he said it a couple times now too.
they've lowered the threshold on their nuclear doctrine. So basically, before it said that they would only use nuclear force if a nuclear nation attacked them. Well, now they've lowered the threshold and said, well, if a non-nuclear nation with the aid of a nuclear nation, aka us, attacks, well, now we can go in. The spokespeople are saying there's going to be no Ukrainian statehood. We will. I mean, what people don't understand is Russia has been holding back this entire time. People might want to disagree. They've been holding back because they don't want to destroy Ukraine.
Do you guys also think that they might be kind of taking advantage of this current like administration while they're in office to kick some shit off? I don't know. You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
When you got somebody in the rainforest, you definitely don't want Trump to get up in there.
No,
they're
holding back for Trump. I believe that.
Yeah, they're trying to blow up any chance of negotiations, which they've wanted to negotiate since April of 2022. So they're just trying, the Biden administration is just trying to destroy as much. It's not Biden doing this. I don't know who it is, but whoever is trying to just completely wreck any chance of a negotiation before Trump gets into office. This is their last ditch effort. It's going to be a F around and find out. You don't want to push Russia. And now England, the UK saying, we're going to send missiles to be used inside of Russia. So it's not going to be good for Ukraine. And honestly, I don't feel
I'm going to be real, y'all. Russia will beat the shit out of all the NATO nations minus America. Straight up.
They're almost equal on all fronts for their arsenal. If you compare the numbers, like they maybe have like 10 less fighter jets or this, that, they have more nuclear weapons. So this whole thing that, Russia's not, Russia hasn't even been trying in this war.
Without nukes, Russia ain't shit. With them nukes, though, they going to fuck up all the NATO except for America.
If you compare a lot of the tanks and fighter jets, they're pretty dang close to us, Cash.
The problem is even like a win. This is the same problem exists in the Israel conflict right now, is that a win's not even a win, because the destabilization of that location, even if shit hit the fan and we wiped out all of say we got Putin out, like, man, it's going to be a guy 10 times worse that takes over. Like, Putin has stability. And for, you know what I mean? You always got to judge how bad of an enemy you want. Sometimes the enemy that you know is a little bit better than the enemy you don't, Personally,
I think this is a ploy, bro. This is a ploy by the Biden regime because they're trying to fuck up Trump before he even gets in there. Effectively, if a war does break out, let's say Russia does drop a nuke on somebody, that's going to instantly start World War III.
Right.
Instantly. Then you have no choice but to have a shitty Trump presidency, because war is going to cause a whole bunch of problems, not just in America, but around the world. Internet, they predicting like for internet and shit to go down and people to be in chaos all throughout the country. And then everything is digital. So now people that only use credit cards lose all their fucking money. And it becomes just a really bad situation, a real bad situation.
I don't think Putin will use nukes. I think they're going to threaten this. I think they'll probably use the hypersonic missiles. I'm unapologetically, I'm pro Putin, I'm pro Russia. I'm not even tired of, I'm not going to hide that anymore. So they're not insane. I mean, I actually now I'm thinking about going there this winter again it'll be the 6th time I've been there. But they're not going to launch nukes. They're going to threaten this, but we need to stop poking the bear. And this is ridiculous. And now if the UK is going to get on this, and it's like, okay, guess what? Ukraine's going to get turned into a parking lot if they don't stop. And it's really sad for the innocent Ukrainian people. I mean, that's who I feel bad for. But
it'll be real sad for Russia too, though, because I'm going to tell you, if they do, let's say they use them hypersonic missiles and they kick this shit off and it becomes a world war, then you got America as an enemy of Russia. And America ain't going, well, I'm going to tell you right now, even if the military is good in Russia, with NATO coming together with the side of America, and not to mention Israel, because Israel has one of the best air forces in the entire fucking world. Okay, everybody come up against Israel, and it's going to be biblical. Literally, what it says in the Bible about Gog and Magog, we're going to see it firsthand. And Russia will be no more. There will be no more Russia.
Here's what I worry about from our side. If we look at, so Russia is one of the many countries that still require conscription. So every single man in that country is military trained. Now you look at their military. The women that they do have in there are tougher than our men, and they don't have, gay transgender furries in there. If we're going hand to hand combat China,
Emily, let me tell you something that a lot of people, Americans, don't know. Man, there is nothing even nearly like the American military. Our military is no fucking joke. The only thing that stops us is like people, excuse my French, but pussies. The only thing that stops us are people that care. But like this, our military can wipe people out
in the blink of an eye.
I mean, grid squares instantly. There's nothing that even closely compares. So when we start talking about how tough or how, man, Russia
can't fuck with
the
America.
only thing that'll fuck us up is the yuppies that are sitting there talking about, oh, why are you doing that? Why are you killing so many people?
Yes.
That's the only thing that messes. When it comes to toughness, there ain't nobody that can even play around with us.
Well,
The women in our military, the tip top. There is no stronger women in the military
women
than
or
American
men,
women
period.
in the military. I'm gonna tell you.
Hand-to-hand combat. I love our military.
It won't even get there. It's 2024, man. It will never get to another Vietnam type of conflict unless it's our restraint that keeps us from just saying, hey, look, let's end this up. Because the minute and that's why we need a Trump, because a Trump's not going to have that. You can't. It's like going into a fight halfway swinging. That's the most dangerous way. You got to knock somebody the fuck out.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? When you go to war, you don't kind of go to war. And that's
but I think we're forgetting one big important element to all of this. Elon Musk has shit that the rest of the world does not have, and now he is aligned with Trump. If you think we aren't about to have some new special weaponry, people are insane. If you think that Elon Musk isn't about to create some shit that goes up into the sky and floats around over there in front, we ain't got. I'm telling you right now, America. People could think what they want about our military. I seen in the comments say our military is weaker than it's ever been. I disagree with that. I think that our military is about to become stronger than it has ever been, if it isn't already. And we're about to dominate in every aspect.
War is different now. War is not the same. War is not hand-to-hand combat running around with an AR-15 anymore. War is fought on a very high technological scale that no one competes with. This is one thing that we did ever since World War II. America got all of the smartest scientists, all of the smartest engineers from all over, from every country, and said, hey, look, come over here. And even the Nazis, we brought them. We brought some of them went to Argentina.
Their greatest scientists.
And most of all the dumb ones went to Argentina, and then the smart ones we said, hey, come over here. Hey, let's figure out this, and they started doing a lot of the biological testing, but man, nobody can compete with us when it comes to warfare. But the only thing that messes us up is our own hold back, our own I don't know exactly.
Not wanting to unleash the full beast.
There you go. That's it. That's it.
I love our military. I think our military is wonderful. I think there's amazing servicemen and women. I would just say we should not underestimate Russia and China I've been in both those countries. And I don't think people could quite realize what I'm speaking just to hand-to-hand combat, what that could look like. And I don't think that we actually truly know what their arsenals look like, because I would imagine they don't have to share everything with us.
Well, sister,
I think this war should not be even attempted or spoken about, and we need to scale back.
I feel you, but you got to remember this too about America. Regardless of what they hand-to-hand combat, every American over here got guns. I got little young boys out here in the city right now that got switches on shit. They got shit that you can't buy. They got weapons and artillery that you cannot buy from a gun store.
As funny as that sounds, that's a major factor in why like a lot of countries would not invade America, because every American would be shooting, every American. But that's part of it. But that's on a smaller scale. But yeah, there is some validity to what you're saying. I mean, it sounds funny, but it's partially true.
I'm telling you. And most of that's one thing I will tell you. One of the saving graces of this country. I know we talk a lot of shit, but it's gonna be the gangbangers. It's gonna be the gangbangers, and it's gonna be the rednecks.
Cash, you know what's crazy about what you said too? You know what they did in Israel, and somebody, if they have the facts and the details on this, either confirm or deny what I'm saying. But what I heard is that in the Gaza Strip, that they had really they had taken everybody's gun rights away not too long before that last attack. And they said, hey, look, you guys can go to your they made these basements where they had like you lock yourself in your house, and then that's how a lot of those folks died, is because they started burning the house down. They didn't have no guns because they legalized guns on the whole Gaza Strip. I think that's true. I'm pretty confident that's true. But that's one of the scary things about all of these taking away people's guns and their ability to defend themselves, is because it turns you into a sitting duck.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, ain't going. You'll be seeing some beautiful unity happening in this country if some shit like that ever does pop off. I promise you, you're gonna see everybody. All my great West Virginia people, all my rednecks down in Kentucky, all my cowboys down in Texas and Oklahoma. You're gonna see it, boy. I'm telling you, you're gonna see the Wild West come to life, and it's gonna be a uniting that you've never seen, and more guns than they know what to do with if anybody ever tries to invade America. I promise you that problem will be handled, and we will have unity in this country once more.
God forbid ever, but you know.
Because this is what I had heard. So Russia is ranked second out of 140 in military strength, while we are ranked first. The U.S. dominates the air with far more bases, fighter jets, and bombers than Russia, but Russia is superior on the ground with more tanks, artillery, and land vehicles. At sea, the countries are more evenly matched, but here the U.S. has the edge with more destroyers, submarines, and aircraft carriers.
But the one thing that they have with the tanks, it wouldn't matter. Again, it wouldn't matter because once you get on the ground, not only do you have people with guns, but we got bombs. There's little white kids that sit inside their parents' basement creating bombs. You know what I'm saying? We got some very intelligent people out here in this country.
To put it in perspective, man, if Russians can't wipe out Ukraine because we're just kind of assisting them, you got to think, you know what I mean? Russia won, they're tired. They've been at war with Ukraine for how long? I don't for a good little minute,
2+ years now, right?
You know what I'm saying? For a little bit of time. These aren't fresh guys. I don't even like making the comparison because when you know the strength of the United States military, it is vastly stronger than what a lot of us think.
That part right there. I was gonna say it. Our aircraft carriers alone separate us, and that is very true. One from the air. If they did get any of their ground vehicles we are too superior. And not just that, our ally Israel, even though their government shit, corrupt fucking people, but their Air Force is amazing. It's amazing. They're probably I ain't gonna say they better than us, but they right up there with us. Israel is amazing with their Air Force.
I think Israel is better with their anti-air than necessarily the Air Force, but I get what you're saying.
And I'm not saying we wouldn't win a war. I'm just saying that this shouldn't. I mean, it's like who was that quote? Was it Einstein? A nuclear war can never be won and should never be attempted. This isn't even. I don't even. It should.
Putin was willing to negotiate a few weeks ago. He said as long as he's like the only thing that he wants is he does not want the UN to have any type of base in Ukraine.
Doesn't want Biden fucking everything up, bro. It's Biden,
which is fair.
They've been willing to negotiate since April of 2022 and have continued 100%. To try to put peace deals, and everything has been blown up by Boris Johnson or Biden or whoever's running Biden. I mean, they're
neocons, man. They want war, man. They want war because that's going to really be. That's the only thing that. Well, if you take it from a neocon type of perspective, that's the way you recover out of a recession that we're in. Is you go to war.
Exactly. You Facts. It's money. That's the only reason why they're playing these games. But more importantly, to try to fuck up Trump. That's really what they get. Their aim is. If they wanted to do this, they would have did this with Ukraine. They're doing it right now for a very specific reason. We already hip to the shit. But with all of that, we have exceeded our time. So we're gonna end it with some thoughts. But not just that. If you guys haven't already, please go to awakenotwokestore.com right now and purchase some of the merch. It's 20% off if you enter truth at the checkout. Again, that's awakenotwokestore.com. We would greatly appreciate it. It's a good way to help us support our channels to keep doing what we're doing because we love creating content for you guys. We love sitting down doing truth with you guys. So if you could do that, that'd be great. Also, if you are a patriot and a God and country type of person, then go to freedomboxinfo.com. Support American-made business. All right. You can earn an income with it if you so choose just by doing what I'm doing right now and saying, hey, go to freedomboxinfo.com and learn about these products. They're amazing. They're made 99% right here in America. The 1% that isn't is mascara for you beautiful ladies out there that want something exotic. They did that for you. So freedomboxinfo.com. Go there. OK, go there. Shop American made. You won't have to worry about anything else. If they do the little blockades or whatever that they got going on, or somebody's protesting and they ain't bringing nothing in on the shore, guess what? We got what we need right here in America, and it'll be shipped directly to your door by an American, a patriot, probably a conservative, most likely, because liberals don't like to work. So if that's you, go to freedomboxinfo.com if you really want to support. All right, we appreciate you, Casey.
How about you tell us about the fundraiser that we have going on, Cash?
Yes. I forgot. You just helped me with that. Did you pull the link?
I do not have the link, but I will try to find it real fast.
Okay. Yeah, get the link. Mama Dawn, can you send Casey the link, please? So here, check it out, you guys. Streetlights Unity Movement, 501c3, geared towards keeping kids out the streets, away from gangs, away from drugs, and helping out. Just to help them have a better American experience, man, especially around the holidays, because what's more American than our holidays? People give Christmas a bad rap, Thanksgiving, all the other Easter and all that. They try to make it something that it's not. Okay, it's an American cultural thing. It's an American tradition. This is our culture, American culture. And these are our kids. This is the future generation of America. So what better way to show them that you love them as Americans if you can contribute? We're adopting families. We're trying to get some presents underneath the tree for these kids. We're trying to get a ham, you know, all the trimmings, everything. We're trying to give all of that. So if you guys could, please go to the link that you see. That's how it's going to look when you go on the screen, and donate whatever you could if you are in a position to be able to do that, because we know that it's hard underneath this Biden administration. They have crippled our economy. We understand that. But I also know that we got a lot of people in this country that you can do it. And you're probably watching right now. So if you can, adopt a family. Help out these kids. Help us put some presents underneath the tree for Christmas. And guess what? We're saying Merry Christmas when we do it too. And I'm going to record it all. All right. It's Merry Christmas. It's not Happy Hanukkah. It's not Happy Kwanzaa. It's not Happy Holidays. It's Merry Christmas in America for me. All right. And everybody on this page, I believe. So Merry Christmas to these kids that you guys are going to help provide presents for. Please go to that link, givebutter.com, and give. You know, it's a season of giving. It's Christmas time, guys.
There you go. Yeah, I had to go and find it real quick, but I'm glad it all worked out. We have the link in the chat. I also threw it in the chat for X. And then if you have any questions, message me. I'll get you the link so we can get it all taken care of. Shall we start with closing it out, man?
Final thoughts. We'll start with Emily. Ladies first. Miss Mangione, the brilliant.
I guess everybody just hang in there until January 20th, and let's hope they don't cause too much chaos before then.
No, that's right. KG, SmokePole TV, bro.
Yo, I'm gonna make it short and sweet, man. You know, hey, just unite with your neighbors, man. This is the time where start talking to your neighbors, start to get to know your community, and start getting focused and try to bring that unity amongst even just your friends. One thing I noticed is people don't talk to each other person to person. This internet is messing things up. Go talk to somebody. Go when you're mowing your lawn, go to your next door neighbor, chop it up with them, and just try to create bonds with people. With that said, SmokePole TV on all platforms. If you don't see it right away, then add the TV and the SmokePole, all one word, and you'll find me on everything. Dope guns, inside training. I work with some of the best trainers, and check me out. It's really good stuff.
Y'all go give him a follow. Check him out. I promise you won't be disappointed. Fantastic content. Casey, what you got for him?
We all know how we end it. When it comes down to this, everybody just don't trust the government. We can't. With what we have going on, the government is constantly lying, especially over the next 60 days. Can't trust anything out of the current administration.
100% agree with you there, my brother. And for me, you guys, again, please go to givebutter.com. Adopt these families, y'all. Give whatever you can. All right. We're trying to reach $5,000. So if you guys can help us reach that goal we got from now until the week before Christmas, let's make that thing happen. Also, to my moderators, Creole Queen and Binary B, I need you all to reach out to me privately. I would like to bless you guys for all the hard work that you do moderating my chat for me. So I got something for you. So please reach out to me. I love y'all. And to everybody that's watching right now, man, look, we appreciate you guys, man. Y'all tuning in, all of you guys that like these videos and that share them out, that you're active in the comments, man. We appreciate you. Straight up. It may not seem like it's a lot, but it is. It's huge when you guys share our stuff or you hit a like or you're interacting. It helps with the engagement. It helps with the retention. It helps with everything. Okay. The algorithm as a whole. So thank you guys for that. I appreciate you. And with that, I bid you all a good day this way. Unite. Don't fight. Be a street light, because only you can be the change you wish to see in the world. And when you get too stressed out, you got to remember to pray, America, because without God, everything falls apart. And that is a fact. Woo! Yeah, brother.